Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at R6 Lewis. And there are only a few places where I think he is really good at, and this is just based on my experience and my exposure using him thus far. There are just a few places. The first is APEP. We are not going to be showing him in APEP right now because there are other videos showcasing him in APEP. I feel like he's going to be really good in the Inferno Tower, so that's going to be something that we will cover for today. Even though there is no Inferno Tower today, I'll just build an Inferno team just to show you guys how he kind of works right now. And apart from these two content, there are also two main PvP content where he excels in a lot. The first is going to be Holo Battles, and the second is actually going to be Point War. Believe it or not, Point War is a place where he strives a lot because you're up against an AI opponent. So the big question is, do I think that he is going to be good in Knockout at all? Because frankly speaking, I do not see him used in like the top 100 players in the Knockout defensive comps at least. I do feel like he's actually quite good in that regard as well because he has self-invincibility after taking out an opponent with his third skill over here. So that's actually quite helpful. So I think in Knockout he's also decent, but of course we can't test out in Knockout. But for today's video, we are going to check out his skills and then we will go into his equipments and finally all the individual content as well. So the first, Iron Fist, attacks one enemy, damage 100% of attack, restores HP, healing 50% of damage dealt, and upon a crit, you also increase your AP by 20%. Next skill, we have Flames of Fury, gains crit up for 2 turns, attacks one enemy, damages 160% of attack, not maxed at all, dispels all buffs on the target and inflicts Sear for 2 turns. Upon a crit, gains 1 turn. Now finally, third skill, Rage Avatar, also not maxed at all, attacks one enemy 3 times, total damage is 230% of attack, and for every 10% max HP the enemy loses, your damage increases by 4%. So if the enemy has very little HP, your damage goes up. So if the enemy has 90% HP missing, your damage is actually increased by 36%. Now upon killing the target, all ability cooldowns reduces by 1 turn and gains invincibility for 1 turn. Then attacks all enemies. This is his R6 effect, where the damage is not actually 50%. The damage is not actually 100% of the overkill damage, it's actually 50%. This is a bug and this will be fixed really soon. And finally his R1, final damage plus 10% on his third skill. So the idea is to lower the enemy's HP with your second skill first, land the Sear debuff, and then overkill with your third skill, which is exactly what his kit has set out to do. But it should be noted that his third skill should be maxed so that you can increase the total overkill damage if you want to use him in these content. Now finally, he has a captain ability of 25% crit rate in every single content. Okay, so now for the equipment of my choice, it is definitely going to be an offensive kit followed by an avatar set. Now in terms of offensive, it's either going to be the War Machine or the Thunder set. Either of these are going to be perfect. But with that said, because you might have some speed requirements, you can also run him with the Wind set, and it's also entirely possible for you to run him on the Ocean set if you want him to have multiple cooldown reductions so that he can spam a little bit more frequently. But for the most part, for whatever content that we're trying to cover him in, he does not need to have cooldown resets that urgently. It's entirely possible for him to just work with completely 0 skill ups. Now finally, let's end off with his Ascensions and his Resonances real quick. So he has flat attack, he has flat HP, he has 10% attack, 10% crit rate, and 20% attack. Very nice. Now Resonances, R1 increases his third skill's damage by 10% over here. R2, Flames of Fury, dispels all buffs from the target. And R4, when the target's HP is below 50%, damage increases by 15%, which is really good for his third skill as well, because you want the enemy's HP to be really low and you want your damage to go up when the enemy's HP is really low as well. Now finally, R6, Rage Avatar, which is third skill, upon killing the target, attacks all enemies, damages 50% of the overkill damage. Now, so assuming that the enemy is down to 10% HP remaining, your third skill will actually do a 447% multiplier at max skill. So if your base multiplier is 260%, your final damage multiplier actually goes up to 447%. That is massive. So if you think about it that way, your overkill damage is actually 223% attack, which is almost as much as his original base form multiplier. It is insane. Okay, so let's take a look at the content that he excels in, starting with not the Calamity Island, but we will be trying him out in the Infinite Miracle, right? The Infinity Tower. Okay, we are going to be using Infinity Tower 5 as a proxy for the Calamity Island. So this will be the setup. We will be using Abigail for the attack buff, we'll be using Pritzker for stuns, we will be using Anki Chai for just a cooldown reset, Embla for some awesome DPS, and of course Lewis for the one-hit wonder, right? Actually, in most cases, you don't really need to use Lewis here. I think Embla is good enough as a solo DPS. Okay, so the strategy is really simple. We're gonna give the turn to Embla so that she can land her Spark at the start, right? Not a Spark, oh my god, her Corrupted Seed. And then we try to stun everything else here. Nice, very nice. We cooldown reset everything except for Lewis, of course. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Okay, and now we try to pop this debuff on her. on the Gabrielle here, right? So take a look at this. We use our second skill first. We lower her HP a little bit, and now we use our third skill, and we overkill. 250,000 damage. 250,000. Amazing. Wow, this is actually... we are dealing like way too much damage right now. Way too much damage. What the heck? Okay, unfortunately, our Lewis will have no skill ups. He will have no cooldowns on his turn. Right, so he has one more turn of cooldowns over here. Okay, I think it's still fine. I think it's not a problem. So we're gonna drop the seed on the Nusi here. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be a problem, isn't it? Stun everything. Reduce our cooldown. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, wait. Lewis can move. Lewis can move. Oh no. GG, what the heck? Okay, stun the Embla here. Sleep the other Embla here. Nice. Okay. We have this. Oh my god, we weren't cooldown reset. Okay, so we use our second skill again. Boom. We popped it. Okay, but sure, fine. And now we kill. Boom. Overkill damage 153k. 153,000 damage. Alright, we have our skills up again. Okay, so same thing, right? We're gonna lower the HP of this Lucas here. Nice, we did not kill. So now he has a seer debuff. Very, very low HP. He has like what, 1%, 2% HP. We will be doing a lot of damage on our third skill. Insane overkill DPS. So that is the power of Lewis, and this is probably like the best showcase on how effective he can be, especially in the Calamity Island when you're trying to climb up very high floors, like maybe floor 200 onwards, where the HP is a lot. He is still going to do a really good job because his overkill damage is still quite solid. Okay, now on to some PvP. We're going to start off with Point War, and I can show you exactly why he is so good in this content. And you might be wondering, Daddy Free to Play, why are you tier 17? Why are you no longer tier 18? And the reason for that is because I had to do a lot of testing just to get such straight wins, right? So before that, I had straight losses all the way just to test out tons and tons of Point War entries. So I refilled a lot only to keep on failing because I was trying like different comps. So I was actually trying the Embla Lewis comp in PvP as well. Sometimes it works, and if it does work, I'll do like 300,000 damage or something like that. But if it doesn't work, it usually ends in a fail. So it's a very, very difficult build to play. So for example, we're up against this guy. This is the team that I'm going to be running with. Previously, I tried using the Embla Lewis comp, but the problem with that is most Jin Yaos are a little bit unpredictable. Some of them are too slow, some of them are too fast. If they are too slow, that is still fine because I can land my defense break on Embla with the corrupted seed, and then Lewis can nuke afterwards. That's totally fine. But some Jin Yaos are a little bit too fast, and if that's the case, she's gonna strip off all the defense breaks, or at least return the defense breaks to my team, and that sucks a lot. And even if I were to run Tia in the lineup so that I can reduce her AP at the start, it is still not good enough because sometimes your procs just don't land, which means that you have at least a 20% chance of losing. And also my DPS is just not enough because most defenses right now are extremely tanky and they are able to eat a lot of the nonsense that you throw at them. So eventually I shifted my lineup a little bit. I removed Embla. It's a little bit unfortunate. I really wanted to abuse the AoE nuking, but I did settle on this current setup. So this is going to be an Ollie, Brewster, Lewis comp. So we're gonna skip this. We might lose, I guess, because there's a height here, R6. Okay, we did lose. We did lose after all. I had a little bit of a suspicion just because there was an R6 height. Before we check out that fight, I want to show you how this team actually works in the first place. Okay, so let's go against this team right here. We're gonna quick battle and we're gonna watch how we won. So let's take a look at how this team works, and the synergy is actually pretty good. I kind of have an idea of how I lost that comp because of the height, and that's about it, like the previous team. Okay, so we push out AP. You notice that okay, see, Flames of Fury, right? And now Brewster is support, defense break, very low HP, and we nuke 120k. So this is how this team works. Super fast. This is maybe by far the closest representative of typical speed cleaves right now, unless you're using Ethan comps with Yu Hime and other strong nukers, right? Like taking the ultimate first turn, nuking everything super hard. If you do not have that kind of modern PvP cleaving team, this is going to be like the next best choice, or like one of those better options out there. Okay, so let's try this again. Now there is no height here. I think this is possible. We're gonna quick battle. GG easy. Okay, we won. Very nice. Let's take a look at the replay again. So the same thing should have... Oh my god. Oh wait. That Gabrielle. Oh, nice. We did not hit the Gabriel, very nice. So now we have the defense break on the Ahmed here. Fantastic. If not, we wouldn't have the defense break on the Gabriel, which is one of my weaknesses, which is why, part of the reason why I say that the height was the problem in the first comp. It's because of the height, right? Because he's immune, so Brewster will not be able to defense break, and it might lead to some issues, especially when his team is very tanky. But for this comp, we got rid of some of like the main threats over here, so we should be perfectly fine, right? How did we even beat this Elliot with 2 turns of immunity? I have no idea. I just realized I said Elliot. He's Everett. Ah, I see. The Ollie clutch freeze. Nice. Alright, there you go. So that was how I won. The Ollie OP. Okay, now let's take a look at how we lost. And I can guarantee you that it is the height. So his team is super tanky. He has like just probably like the perfect tanky comp right now. Like he has the main 4 Espers, Jinyu Yao, Tricky, Ahmed, and Everett. And he has the height to back here. And like I said, right? We went for the height, which is a problem because now the Ahmed is going to heal the height like crazy, and I was wrong. I guess we got soloed by Everett then, right? We 100% got soloed by Everett in this case. Ouch, ouch, very ouch. Okay, so some of you guys might be wondering like, why am I using a Clara, right? Isn't Clara just here for healing and all that? You're not wrong, but one of the most important and highly overlooked aspects of using a Clara in a speed cleave comp is because she provides your entire team with 2 turns of immunity. And why this is so important as opposed to 1 turn of immunity? 1 turn of immunity doesn't work, especially when up against Everett, because after attacking Everett, you're gonna lose that immunity and Everett is gonna counter-attack you and still land the miss rate up or the stun if he's on Avatara. It is extremely important that you use a Clara for speed cleaving. Una's only provides 1 turn of immunity, might not be enough. So in some cases, if your speed cleave with an Una's fails, or at least fails the first hit, then it might not be very easy for you to recover from that afterwards. So Clara is still an excellent option in speed cleaving nowadays. So for the people who say that Clara is no longer part of meta. Okay, so that was Point War. Let's take a look at holo battles for our final showcase for the R6 Lewis, and then you guys can have a better idea of like whether is he going to be good for you or not, or like is he still going to be an Esper that you might consider using in the future, just going by the showcase that we have over here. Okay, I understand that like these players, they are like tier 11 and all that, so it's not going to be a really good showcase because it's not going to give us a very good idea of how good he can be, which is like what even is this team on the right? Okay, so I think just for funsies, we're just gonna nuke his team real hard, real hard. Okay. Let's see how hard we can nuke this team. So, oh no, Lewis is faster than my Embla. What? Oh, I think I didn't even... Embla does not have any equipment on. Okay, major rip. I guess if that's the case, we are just gonna do this. Maybe we can actually one-shot the whole team. No, we can't. But we definitely could if we had Embla. If we didn't forget to equip our Embla with stuff. Okay, that was completely unfair. Let's try this again. Alright, but before that, we definitely have to give her some equipment. Now, a lot of you guys get very upset that I run stupid teams in holo battles. I fully understand, and I'm not doing it on purpose, okay? I'm not trying to screw up. That is not true. That's not my objective. The reason why I run funny comps like this is because I just, frankly, I don't really care too much because holo battles is, after all, not a very exciting content. Ah, damn it. Whoopsie! It's just not a very exciting content in my opinion. We're gonna strip this, we're gonna win. See? There we go. Nice. Easy peasy. So sometimes even if I lose, it's just that I'm not trying hard enough to figure out how I can win. Because most of the time I'm just focused more on the objective at hand, which is just to make sure that the team works. Or at least just to showcase what that character can do. And sometimes I know I do make mistakes and all that. Forgive me, alright? So last showcase over here, another perfect setup for us because of our typing. So we're gonna buff up. And I think we are probably not gonna use our third skill because, okay, you know what? Let's just do it. Boom, boom. Oh, no. Okay, you know what? Let's get a Tang Xuan out of the way. This is just way too easy. Oh my, we almost killed that 100,000 damage, dude. Okay, but anyway, that's it for today's showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Let me know if any other questions pertaining to Lewis, whether is he good at like, below R6 or not. Frankly speaking, I don't think he carries a lot of weight below R6. For the most part, there are many other Espers who fulfill his role, kind of like maybe using Sender, for example. Single target Inferno Nuker. I think Sender is still going to be a lot more powerful than Lewis below R6. And of course, the reason for that is his R6 just makes him very, very strong. But you do need to have the correct setup. So like the Point Wall Showcase, for example, you need to have a setup that works really well. Brewster works really well with him, but then again, Brewster works really well with many different Espers, not just Lewis. It's just that in that particular setup, that worked out really nicely for us. But anyway, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Very Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.